These distributors are glorified banks. It's not appropriate for a company to take your royalties for any reason. Winning disputes with music distributors is literally what I do. As a law firm owner of 10 years now, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been that long. Part of just like the beauty of being a lawyer, and it really isn't fair, but it's just the letterhead. There is a scare tactic that just comes with you getting a letter or a music distributor getting a letter from a lawyer. Are we asking for anything different than what you were asking for when you emailed DistroKid or messaged DistroKid? No. But do we get things done? Yes. So on this channel, we have, reviewed the contracts that you guys sign with your music distributors. And we've talked about the big ones, DistroKid, Symphonic, CD Baby, and TuneCore. And kind of amongst those conversations are always, I go in detail about what your contracts say, what you're agreeing to, and then we always are going to hyper focus on what can these distributors do related to your royalties. And I care about that very greatly because that's the stuff that I fight on your behalf for, right? Because these distributors will make some kind of claim. Something happened, they allege that you did something wrong in violation of the terms of use, and then they kick you out of your account. And then they forfeit your royalties. And, part of the looking at the terms of service, but also literally these cases that we've been handling is just our frustration and just being like, these distributors are glorified banks. It's not appropriate, for a company to take your royalties, in my opinion, for any reason. They are the bank. And so if they go, well, according to Spotify, you violated the terms. Cool. You can kick my client off of your platform. You're a private company. That's fine. But when there's just an allegation and then you're going to take our client's royalties, that's a problem. So we've gone to war and we have a very high success rate of getting your monies released, of getting your accounts reinstated, of getting all the good things. So I thought it would be helpful if you happen to be dealing with one of these situations, or you might have to deal with one of these situations in the future, that we go through and discuss the tactics that we use that seem to help quite a bit. So here are the common issues that you guys usually are contacting our office about. The first and foremost one is streaming manipulation or a claim of streaming manipulation. This could be you paid for bots to stream your song. The real reason of why these notifications usually happen, right? So you might get a notification from, let's say, Spotify. It creates a cascade of effects, which is you get the email and then you get an email from your distributor and, DistroKid's like, there's been an allegation, we've pulled the music, we've kicked you out of the account, and they send you a bunch of things. And then typically you guys are like trying to just message the music distributor, oh my gosh, what happened? Trying to understand. And usually it's one of two things, which is you talk to some representative and you start getting these automated looking responses, or you message, you email, and you get no response. And so usually when we jump in and we, get to the bottom of what's going on, the reason why this happens can be for a number of reasons, one of which might be that you're running ads for the first time. Okay, so we had this issue with one of our TuneCore clients and also a DistroKid client. But anyway, so, just running ads. And that results in a whole lot of new traffic. Okay, and sometimes in like the hundreds of thousands, like it's a lot. There's a surge because the ads worked. But because of that, the DSPs, the digital service providers, like Spotify, are like, this looks odd. So therefore, it must be streaming manipulation. You get the emails, you get kicked out, and then depending on the platform, they will say, you don't have access to your royalties anymore. So running ads will be one. Two, something might go viral. We've had this happen where something goes viral, let's say on TikTok. So it's one platform. And then one platform ends up resulting in a huge surge of organic traffic. We've also seen where you guys are releasing an album of like sleepy time music. So you have something that you release that is meant for someone to listen overnight. And so all of a sudden, once again, there's a lot of traffic and very long listening times. That's just a little unusual. And so things get flagged and you get the horrifying takedown emails. Or you hired a PR company. And this is a tough one. I know you guys want to hire PR companies. I know you want to work with marketing people. I know they can be helpful. But I also know that they have quotas. And whether they're trying to cause harm to your music long term, they're trying to get results. And so they might not even know that all their little botted streams to get your numbers up. So they can be like, pay me more money. Obviously what I'm doing for you is working. Like that stuff happens. So sometimes you don't even know what is happening because you hired someone and you didn't know that this is what they were doing. Or of course, maybe you're just actually doing streaming manipulation and you got caught. Okay, so that's our short list. 99% of you fall into the first few categories only. Streaming manipulation, that's a big one. Another one might be having to do with your playlists, and we just dealt with someone in this realm. And so someone had built just a huge playlist, big following, and this is really smart as a marketing tactic. If you can build a playlist with like artists, like vibe, like genre, then you can of course add in your songs that you represent, that you own, if you're a label, the artists that you represent, and you just build up something that a lot of people are listening to, right? So you build your own little success train. Cool. So the same kind of issues come up with the botting of the playlist. So everything that I just talked about, the reasons, running ads, something goes viral, that comes up as well. The other two have to do with just general intellectual property, which is going to be copyright and trademark infringement. So there might be a claim, if it's copyright infringement, that you sampled. Maybe there's some kind of like content ID issue on one of the platforms. So for any of these reasons, and as we've looked at with the terms of service for all of these music distributors, they just give you the gambit and they're like, if there's any claim in regards to, and they list out a book-long list of potential things. If there's a claim in regards to any of this stuff, not that anyone proves it, they don't say it has to be proven. If there's just a claim, we reserve the right to, and then depending on the platform, it's different. We saw the most aggressive being with TuneCore, and them just being like, we're going to forfeit your royalties. We're going to take them for ourselves. We can give them to third parties. So we've talked about that in detail. So these are the most common issues. Now, let's talk about the effective strategies. Become your own record label, which is literally if you're like, hey, I want to start a record label. Cool, I got you. Understand the entire music business. I want to set up my LLC. I want to do the marketing. It's a lot. So for example, sync licensing, for example, music marketing, it's significantly cheaper than anything you would ever get from a law firm as far as all the stuff that comes with it. And you want to make six figures from your music career and you want to do this for real. Like, I'm going to give you what you need. So now you have the problem and you're watching this and you're like, I need help. This is what you need to do. Number one is documenting all of the evidence. And this applies to any problem that you might have. And this is every single email that you had or will have, any notice that you receive from any DSP, Amazon emailed you, like every single email, text communication, message of any kind that relates to your matter. Please make sure that you document it. And you do that because you don't think that your email is going to get hacked or something's going to get deleted. This stuff happens though. So we're documenting everything because whether you're handling this or eventually you get someone else like a lawyer to come in and help you, this is stuff that we're going to use. Stuff that we're also going to use is evidence of, for example, if you're running ads. If you guys remember one of our cases against TuneCore on the alleged streaming manipulation, we had screenshots of our clients' Meta, Facebook, Instagram ad account. Hey, like our client spent $25,000 on ads, which resulted in millions and millions and millions of additional reach. And, anyway, documenting the evidence of stuff that you did, really helpful. Okay. And then obviously self-help. I'm always going to say this, like, don't just jump to like hiring someone, because if you can get this resolved and you can save some money, please do that. All right. So you can speak with customer service. Yes, you're going to run into frustrations. Yes, you're going to get like these copy and paste, just you want to pull your hair out responses. It happens, but it does help if you are patient. Here's just some pro tips as far as like your tone. It's really important that you try not to like speak emotionally, okay? And that you don't use what I call baseball bat threats. Okay, so the whole I'm going to show up at your house kind of thing, extreme, but just don't do it, because what's going to happen is that these representatives have to kind of check out if you start making threats. They're just not going to talk to you. So to the extent that someone really can try to help you, you being super respectful and just knowing that this person really doesn't care about you. Okay, this is their 9 to 5. This is their job to try to help. So the more respectful you can be, the better you can move it along. And this is actually a tactic that we use as lawyers. Okay, so we wait to pull the nuclear option with how aggressive we get. And it's because, you can get more done usually by just leading with respect and just being factual. Okay. Next, you want to make sure that you are actually reviewing the terms of service. Okay, so as it relates to the platform, what happened? What can you do? What does it say in the contract that you signed? Take a little peek. And this is going to be helpful because this goes into like your analysis of how you get to a remedy. This is what we do. And then you can send a demand letter. This is different from you sending a quick email to support@distrokid.com. Something that I have done for every terms of service that I've reviewed on this channel is that I show you guys what the contact information is for each of these companies in their terms of service. So to the extent that you can actually write out a letter in a Word document and sign it and go through all of this and be like, here's my evidence. This is what happened. This is what we need cleared up. Thank you so much for your help. You can do that, all right? And then the nuclear option, which is hire a lawyer. I understand when you have $50,000 in royalties, you're like, I don't even want to go through any of this. This is so silly, and I just want to kind of get to what we need to have happen quicker. Fine. But you still need to have hopefully gone through some of the first steps and you've documented all your stuff, okay, to give to your attorney. Now, like I said, with our firm, our success rate is, very high. And it's because we implement these tactics of being very thorough and then also just trying to understand, what's being alleged and asking for the distributors, evidence, and that kind of thing, but also going through the contract. And that's where my interest in these terms of service comes in because it's important that you know what you're signing, how it works if there's a problem. You can do a lot of this on your own, which is the great news. Now, getting everything in writing. When we are able, because usually it takes a couple times, we got to go back and forth, we got to follow up. Sometimes we have to go directly to, let's say, Spotify legal department. And so sometimes it can take some time. Make sure, though, that you have everything in writing with what's agreed upon. So if someone says, all right, so you're $50,000 in royalties, and let's say it's DistroKid, and they're agreeing that they're going to reinstate your account, they're going to release your royalties, typically they're going to send you a release. And the release is going to say, you are waiving any and all claims, and they're going to require that you do this. Okay. It's okay that you sign that, but you want to make sure that you are being fairly compensated. If you hired an attorney, usually we get those attorney's fees reimbursed, and ensure that you get paid by a certain date. Okay, this is your super pro tip, which is just because someone's like, cool, I'll release your royalties, fine, but have a date specified because what you care about is making sure your account is reinstated, your royalties are released, or whatever it is that whatever you've negotiated. So ensure that you have a date set for when payment has to be distributed by. During this process, it is not fast. So you do want to be patient, okay? And make sure you calendar follow-ups and make sure you set deadlines and so you can just kind of move things along. So when it comes to music distributors, there's a good chance that at some point you're going to have some kind of problem, and it might not be a huge legal battle. It might be some issue because they didn't whitelist your album off of your Facebook page or your Instagram, and so now you got a copyright notice because you used one of your songs in a reel that you posted. Like, so many things happen. So if you are dealing with a music distributor, go through these steps, and I know you are going to have a ton of success. And if it becomes that you got to go to the nuclear option, contact Delgado Entertainment Law, and I'll help you.